Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is How Can We Make the Best Decisions? I think many of us know that when we're making a decision, it can sometimes be complicated because we don't have all the facts. And even though there are a lot of unknown things, we still might need to act. We still might need to make that decision. And one of the most helpful things that I have found in making important decisions is something called the Rumsfeld matrix. And my interpretation of how to use this method for decision making is very different, probably from the original intention, and as I've seen it discussed in other places. But the way that I have looked at this has really been helpful to me, so I want to share it with you. There are 4 categories in this matrix. And what's so amazing about it is that it really talks about certainty and uncertainty in the context of the known and the unknown. And it would be great if you could pick up a pen and paper right now and actually create the matrix, because there are 4 parts to it. First, on the upper left, you can write down known knowns, KNOWNS. And the second is on the upper right side, and that is known unknowns. The third category in the matrix is on the bottom left, and that's the unknown knowns. And the fourth is on the bottom right, and that's the unknown unknowns. And I've used this mostly in business, but you can use it to make a decision in any part of your life, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's health. And the first part of the matrix to look at is the known knowns. When you're making a decision, of course, the most obvious place to look is, what do I know? And it's basically just the facts. If you had a business, the facts could be your revenue. It could be the profit for the year, the amount of employees that you have, any market indicators, any market research that you did. If you're looking for a new job, a fact might be what they're willing to pay you, what your job functions are, the reviews that you've seen about the company. And although I think every decision actually encompasses each part of the matrix, gathering as many facts as you can is always helpful. Not everybody will have all the facts that you know, so sometimes it gives you something over the competition, and sometimes reviewing them gives you insights that you might not have thought of. It gives you the ability to control what you can control in the moment. And another part of the matrix, when you're making a decision, sometimes there are things that are known unknowns. You know there's an issue, but you don't exactly know why. In a business context, let's say your sales are down and you're not sure why it's happening. So then you start to look at the market and you discover you have competition. And that competition is selling their product for less money. So you could either lower your price, you can give something else away. So what it does is it gives you more information than you had before, and it actually turns it into a known known. And this might give you a leg up in any decision that you're going to make. It helps you understand things that you might not have understood before. And sometimes you'll be able to make a known unknown into a fact, and sometimes you won't. But at least you researched it, and at least you became very aware of something that exists that you still don't have enough information on. You keep your eyes open and you keep looking at it, and maybe eventually you will reach a greater understanding of the situation that you're in. And the third piece of a decision is called the unknown known, which is on the bottom left. And this is where I differ from many people who use the Rumsfeld matrix to make a decision. I believe that an unknown known is really just your intuition. You don't have any clear reason to know something, but deep down, it's known to you and it's in your gut. And when you combine your gut feelings, your intuition, with the facts that you actually know and the stuff you're trying to know, you're trying to look into, you're actually combining your mind and your gut. For instance, let's say you're looking at a new job. You collected all the information, you researched it as much as possible, but there's a part of you that doesn't feel quite right about taking that job. That's your intuition. And that's part of the decision process. And sometimes it feels perfect, it feels aligned, you're not even sure why. And that's your intuition leading you with the facts to make the best decision possible. Now, the fourth part of the matrix is called the unknown unknown. And what's interesting about this is we don't even know what we don't know. And often I think that's always a part of our life. And actually, some people don't move forward because they know in every decision they make, there's that risk. There's a fear of the unknown. They fear all the bad things that could happen. And it's a reason why they don't change their lives. They don't start the business. They don't get the new job. They don't enter that relationship because they know there's so many things that could happen in life, so many things they can't control. So after they look at what they know, after they try to find things out, after they try to listen to their gut, it's just too much for them because they don't have a guarantee how things are going to be. They'd rather just sit it out. But the problem with this is there's never certainty. And when we look for certainty, we often pick that over our dreams, over moving forward, over our passions. But when we can find a way to make peace with that, that's when we find the courage to make the decisions we really want in our lives. And that's what's so amazing about this matrix. Again, you look at the facts, you research it, you use your instinct, and it gives you an opportunity to also figure out what you're afraid of and overcome your fears to make the right decision in your life. And this is why I always talk about the idea of maybe. You don't have to fear the unknown unknowns. Because we know with this idea that whatever happens, there are always going to be infinite possibilities, infinite ways that things can work out. And even if they work out in a way that we're not happy with, in a way that we didn't expect, life has maybe again, there's another opportunity again to make another decision to find our way. And if you don't remember how the maybe practice works, especially in this context of the unknown unknowns, you ask yourself your biggest fear. And it could be you're afraid that your business won't be successful, even after all your research, even after that your instinct tells you to move forward. The fear of what will be leaves you in a state of doubt. If you're afraid you'll never get that job that you want, if you're afraid you're never going to fall in love again, you get to question your fears. Are you absolutely certain that that fear is true? Or that stress or that worry? And the beautiful thing about life is you cannot be certain of anything. And because you cannot be certain of anything, you cannot be certain that any of your fears and any of your stresses and any of your worries are true. And then you get to use the maybe practice. Maybe everything will be okay. Maybe my thought's not true. Maybe things will get better. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that. Whatever it is, maybe reminds you that there's always hope. What we don't know is just as powerful as what we do know. So in a way, the last part of the matrix, the unknown unknowns, could also be called the place of infinite possibilities, the place where miracles happen, the place where your dreams come true. There's an infinite playing field where things are always changing and things are always happening. So there's really no reason to worry about the unknown unknowns, because when you get there, you'll know what to do. And if things don't work out, you'll have the opportunity to try again. I always like to remember the known knowns, the known unknowns, the unknown knowns, and the unknown unknowns. In my opinion, by using this matrix, you'll have an easier time making a tough decision. You'll have an easier time gaining clarity of where you really are. You'll have an easier time using your mind and using your heart. And most of all, you won't be afraid of the future because you'll remember that maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe or A Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you'd like to listen to my new audiobook for The Gift of Maybe, it's available at all major audio platforms. And if you like this podcast, I hope you subscribe and leave a comment.